So it's so exciting for us as staff just to see all of your faces, finally put faces to names and welcome you to campus. I know this is the end of a very long day, so I definitely appreciate y'all hanging in there. You are here for what I think is like the most important topic of all the topics. Money matters and financing your education. So we got a lot of helpful information and reminders for you all as you move throughout kind of the college process, including all of the financial aid, student accounts, Pacific card things that you need to know. So we are here. My name is Caitlin Goslinga. I am the Senior Assistant Director of Financial Aid here at Pacific. I am responsible for financial wellness and all of our outreach. My colleagues are here as well. Karina from Student Business Services, and then Matt, who is our Director of E-commerce, our Pacific card extraordinaire. So happy to be here today. You all are welcome to take any photos of the slides you'd like. I think there's access to this presentation somewhere on kind of the orientation platform, but feel free to do so as we go. All right, so first things first, I want you all to know where the Office of Financial Aid is located. We are in Knowles Hall. So where we had lunch out on the lawn, that big building right at the end of the green, that is Knowles Hall. Admissions is there, the registrar is there, and the Office of Financial Aid. Probably the most important thing for you all to know as well is you do not need any kind of scheduled appointment to meet with our team. So don't email us saying, hey, can I schedule an appointment? Stop on by. We have counselors available on a walk-in basis, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. You can also call in. We also have phone counselors available as well. Even if you're simply across campus and you don't feel like walking to Knowles, you are welcome to call in. Email financialaid@pacific.edu, whatever form is easiest for you. All right, so here are some of the topics we are going to be chatting about today. First things first, we're going to start with the FAFSA and important dates you need to know for renewing your FAFSA. We're then going to talk about the academic criteria you need to meet each year for your financial aid to be renewed from one year to the next. We're going to chat a little bit about the ins and outs of federal work study. And then last but not least, just some financial wellness tools that you have available to you as a Pacific student. All right, so the biggest myth that I think that I bust each and every school year pertains to the FAFSA. A lot of students think you only need to do the FAFSA 1 year and then you are good to go for the next 4 years. But that is not the case, my friends. We need to be doing a FAFSA each and every school year. The 2024-25 year is the year that we are starting. If you have not filed a FAFSA yet for that school year, it is available right now. The 2025-26 FAFSA is going to be opening up on December 1st. So this is where you all get your phones out right now and you go to December 1 in your phone calendar, save the date, put a little reminder to do your FAFSA, because let me tell you, I've been doing this work for quite a while and I know that students get really busy, right? That's kind of right around the time, finals are starting, you're heading home for the winter break. It is really, really easy to forget to renew your FAFSA. And while the FAFSA form has kind of undergone a revamp, there still may be some technical glitches with it. We're not sure what the next school year is going to have in store for us, but the earlier you can file the FAFSA, the longer you have to navigate anything you might need help with that form. You need to do a FAFSA each and every year. If you have any financial aid that's got the word grant in the title, you have a Pell Grant, a Cal Grant, a UOP tuition and housing grant, you have to have a FAFSA to get those funds each year. If you are borrowing a federal loan, or if your parent is borrowing a Parent Plus loan, that is also a new acceptance and application process each year. Especially with that Parent Plus loan, your parent has to do a new Plus loan application before each school year starts. This is the studentaid.gov website. This will kind of be your home base for all things pertaining to the FAFSA. This is also where you go if you're borrowing loans to do loan documents. We gotta have a master promissory note and the loan entrance counseling on file. This is also where you can monitor loans and grants that you've received. It is all at your dashboard here at studentaid.gov. All right, we have a policy here at Pacific. It's known as satisfactory academic progress. Short term, we call it SAP because that is a mouthful. The simplest way I can put it is we want to encourage all of you to go to class and get good grades, right? That's obviously a no-brainer. But I was doing some number crunching earlier, and you would be surprised how much you all, or perhaps maybe your parents, are paying each time you decide to skip class. So did a little bit of math. Let's say for a 5-unit class, principles of bio, maybe a chem class with a lab. Does anyone want to guess how much each class might cost? Shout out, anybody? Okay, not 400, not quite. It's about $200 each time you decide to sleep in and not go to class, right? So I know you all want to be the best stewards of your money, of your parents' money, of that loan that you may have borrowed, because there's actually 2 criteria that you all have to meet at the end of each school year in order for your financial aid to be renewed. Number 1, you need a cumulative 2.0 GPA. Number 2, you need to pass or complete 67%, 2/3 of all of the units you are taking after the add drop period. So at the start of the school year, there's that add drop window. It's about a week or so where you have all the flexibility to add classes, drop classes, do whatever you need to do to finalize your schedule. Once that period is over, those classes essentially are the locked-in courses that we are going to be looking at for financial aid purposes. So we want to make sure we're passing at least 2/3 of that, obviously to renew your financial aid, but to graduate on time, right? We want to make sure you're making progress toward that degree. And we love you all, but we don't want you here for 8 years, right? You want to move on with your lives, so we want to help you do that. And so that is kind of the purpose of that policy. We're going to look at this at the end of the year. So that means if maybe come fall, maybe you don't do as well as you'd hoped. That's okay. You still have the entire spring semester to kind of balance those grades out. Along with that, maybe again at the end of the year, you're not meeting one of these 2 criteria. We understand that life happens, right? There are things that get in the way, extenuating circumstances, curveballs thrown at us that we don't plan for. If that is the case, we do have an appeal process. This is not just completely the end of your financial aid. We do have opportunities for you to get back on track, get your aid approved through an appeal process. All right, I want to talk a little bit more about how our Pacific students receive additional scholarships. I know if I asked all y'all to raise your hands to say, would you like more scholarship money? Everyone's going to say yes, right? I had your parents raise their hands. They all did in the previous session. So this is another calendar date, my friends, to add to your reminders. This arguably is maybe a little bit more important, right, when we're talking about extra scholarship money. October 1st, October 1, that is when our Tiger Scholarships portal goes live. We are going to email every registered student to remind you to hop online and do your Tiger Scholarships application. You do one general application, and then you will have the opportunity to apply for over 85 different scholarships. Now this is where I advise you to kind of take your time and look at those scholarship opportunities, because each scholarship may not apply to you, right? There may be some specifically for students that are in the School of Engineering. You, my friends, are not in the School of Engineering. Do not click apply for those, right? That's going to kind of waste all of our time. So take a look to see, does that opportunity fit you based on the description of the scholarship? And then it's as simple as clicking apply after you have done your general application. You have until January 15th to do your Tiger Scholarships application. Do not submit your application on January 14th, my friends. Do not wait until 11:30 p.m. on January 14th. This is a true story. If you experience some sort of glitch or your internet goes down or something and you don't get it in on time, there is no exceptions to this deadline. Like, this is a hard and fast policy, as much as I hate to say it. So we want to make sure we're getting that application in. I don't want any one of you saying, no, I didn't know about it, right? We're gonna notify you. So add that reminder and make sure you do your application. We're gonna take, and all the committees involved are gonna look at these apps the entire spring semester, because there's hundreds of them, right? They all get reviewed. Any funds that are awarded are gonna be applied toward the 2025-26 school year. So your second year here at Pacific. All right, another financial aid resource I want to talk a little bit about, which can be a little bit confusing at times, is federal work study. So if any of you are interested in getting a part-time job on campus, having federal work study as part of your financial aid offer gives you opportunities to look for more positions on campus. Kind of opens up the list of opportunities. Federal work study, if you are eligible for it, you will see it automatically now on your financial aid offer. There's a certain number of students that are automatically awarded work study based on some criteria that we look at. However, if you do not see federal work study and you are interested and you're like, yeah, I know for sure I want to get a part-time job, let our office know. I would say probably the fastest thing is when you got some downtime this week, stop by our office to say, hey, I'm interested to see if I could be reviewed for work study. Can I get it added? I don't see it as part of my aid offer. We can take a look to see if you demonstrate financial need. That's another little calculator we're going to look at to see, can we add federal work study? From there, you still have to get hired. You have to apply for a job. They have to interview you potentially, depending on where you're working on campus, and you've got to get that job and start working. Once you start working, you are going to earn money out of your federal work study offer. You're going to get paid paychecks, just like any other part-time job, right? You're going to get paid twice a month. It's going to come out of that federal work study offer. If at any point you are getting close, you're running low on your federal work study dollars and you're still working, it's maybe partway through the semester, contact our office to say, hey, can I get a work study increase? If we've got extra money, which typically we do, we can go through and look at increasing that work study offer for you. Now, I know that there may be students that are not eligible for work study, right? That's just kind of part of the way that fund is set up. If that is you, that doesn't mean you can't work on campus. You just have to look to see specifically, does that department require you to have federal work study as a resource? So take a look when you're going through the handshake portal. But for anyone that has federal work study or gets awarded it, you need to get a work study card from our office. That is the proof that you show to your employer by uploading it to Handshake that you are in fact work study eligible. So those cards will be at the financial aid office. I know there's a career fair, I think next week. I'll have a table out there and I'll be giving work study cards out to students that are eligible. So you're welcome to stop by then as well. All right, my last little resource I want to share with you all before I hand it over to Karina. We have a pretty cool tool here at Pacific known as Cash Course. This is kind of a self-guided tool that is added to your Canvas list, right? So you've got all your classes in Canvas. Cash Course can be one of them. So next week, I will be looking at inviting you all to join Cash Course. This is where you can learn more about kind of real life money topics, right? So maybe you are working for the first time and you're like, dang, I gotta start a budget and I don't really know where to start, right? How do I think about managing my money in a way that helps me reach my goals? Or hey, I'm borrowing student loans and I really don't know the ins and outs of that. Where can I learn more? We wanna talk about saving y'all's money from scams, right? We don't wanna get scammed. There are some very savvy scams that are out there these days. Maybe you want to learn a little bit more about saving and investing, right? Whatever money topic you are interested in, Cash Course likely has it. So we will be inviting you all next week. So I'm going to encourage you to accept that invite if that is something you would like to learn more about. Just as another way that we can kind of help you grow financially, maybe a little bit outside of the financial aid world. So on that note, thank you everyone. I'm going to pass it over to Karina now.
Hello students and welcome. My name is Karina Sanchez and I work at our Student Accounts office here on campus. We are located in the Finance Center, and kind of to tell you guys a little bit where that's located, if you guys know where our cafeteria here is on campus, the DUC, we are right across the little lawn from the DUC, so we're that building right across from them. We are open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, with the exceptions of Thursdays. Thursdays we do open at 9:30. All right, today I'm going to be going over billing statements, how to add authorized users, payment plans, refund, Title IV forms, the tuition insurance, and lastly, bookstore charging. So I'm going to encourage you guys to take a little screenshot of this. This is going to be how you guys are going to access your billing statements / how you guys are going to go onto the payment portal. So you guys will go onto your My Pacific. On the dashboard, you will have a balance widget. You'll click on View Pay Balances, and it's going to take you over to the Transact CashNet portal. That portal is going to be where you guys see all your billing statements, all the activities on your account. You'll be able to pull receipts for online payments that you made towards your tuition on that portal. This is an example of what your billing statements are going to look like. A couple things I do want you guys to know is your billing statement is always going to have a due date of the following month. Now, your tuition might not always be due the following month, so it is very important to check the important information's paragraph towards the top of the statement, because it will give you relevant information of when exactly your payments will be due. Alrighty, this is also a very, very important slide for anyone who has a parent, family, or friends that are helping to pay your tuition. Now, if that parent, family, or friend has any questions about your account, we cannot speak with them unless they are an authorized payer. So to get them as an authorized payer, you will log into your payment portal by going onto your My Pacific, going on the balance widget. Once you are on the payment portal, you will go on My Account, send a payer invitation, which is just, you'll fill out the parent's name, email address, and then parents will get an email where they will be able to create their own credentials onto the payment portal. So they'll be able to log in and see anything related to your tuition payments, but they will not have access to like your financial aid. They will not have access to grades. It's only your student account that this gives them access to. Alrighty, and one thing I do want to go over are payment plans. Now, payment plans are a good option if your financial aid is not covering your full tuition payment and you can't afford to pay it all up front out of pocket at the beginning of the semester. You can enroll into a payment plan. Now, our payment plans, they don't have any interest rates, but they do have an enrollment fee. Now, our 3-month plan has a $25 enrollment fee, and our 5-month plan has a $75 enrollment fee. It is paid upon enrollment, so when you do your first installment, you will pay that fee alongside. But like I said, there's no interest on the plan, so you will only pay it on your very first installment. Now, as far as the breakdown of these payment plans, they are always going to be due at the beginning of the month, regardless of the time that you enrolled into the plan. So for example, say you guys are enrolling into this payment plan today, you would still have your second installment due September 1st. So that first of the month deadline is going to be consistent throughout your time here at Pacific, and the payment structures will always be for the fall, August, September, October, so on, and for the spring starting January. So those are going to be consistent throughout your time here at Pacific. Alrighty, and refunds. Now, for students that have a credit balance, say that you guys got a lot of financial aid and now you have a credit on your account, we do refunds automatically the first 2 weeks of classes starting, and if there is a credit that gets put on the account after the first 2 weeks, we refund every Wednesday. A good way to get your refund a little bit faster from our office is by filling out a direct deposit form. Now, this is an example of what that direct deposit form looks like. You guys probably all received an email this week with that direct deposit form asking you to fill it out and send it back to our office. This does make refunds a little bit quicker for you guys. If we do not have this form on file, we would still process the refund automatically, but it would be a check in the mail, which can take 2-3 weeks to arrive. Meanwhile, these direct deposits only take about 2 to 3 business days to reflect into your banking account. Alrighty, so the Title IV authorization form. I'm not sure if you guys are too familiar with the Title IV funds, but Title IV funds are essentially a part of your financial aid. So if you guys don't have this fund, you guys probably will not receive an email from us. But if you guys do have Title IV funds on your account, you guys will receive an email from our office asking you to fill out this Title IV form. And basically what this form does is it gives us the ability to kind of charge anything from your student account and get that covered by the financial aid. So for example, say you had a library charge on your account. Well, library fees are not considered tuition and fees, so your financial aid technically cannot cover that unless we have this form on file. It is two parts. One part is talking about your current aid, and then the other part is talking about prior year's aid. So for example, say you had a credit coming from the spring semester, and now you have a library charge in the fall. We would be able to use that credit towards the charges that you had in the fall that were not tuition-specific charges. Alrighty, and then our Grad Guard tuition insurance. Now this is going to be kind of like a traveler's insurance. So maybe you guys will not ever have to use this, hopefully, at your time here at Pacific runs smoothly and there's never a time where you need to drop out of your classes for any reason. But this is a good thing to have just in case, because if you do drop out of Pacific, say mid-semester, you will still be responsible for your tuition payments. And so this is a good insurance to have in place just in case there's an emergency like that. You can only apply to this before classes have started. So starting Monday, this will no longer be available. A good way to kind of see information on this is if you log into your payment portal, kind of that big old alarm box that pops up on the corner before you can see your tuition charges. That big old paragraph there talks about this tuition guard. And like I said, if you are planning to enroll in this, you have until Sunday, essentially, to be able to enroll into the tuition guard insurance. And lastly, I'm going to go over bookstore charging. So all of our students that are financially clear have the ability to charge at the bookstore up to $950. Now, what does this mean? This is not free money, so it doesn't mean you have $950 just to spend at the bookstore. You will have to pay this back. It will basically be a charge that goes onto your student account, and then we will bill you for you to pay this back at a later date. For all of my VAs, if you are charging at the bookstore, please bring your receipts over to me, Karina, so that I can invoice the VA on your behalf. If I do not have those receipts, we do have to take this money out of your guys' refunds, or you would have to pay out of pocket. So it's very important that after you go to the bookstore, you do come and bring those receipts over to me. Yes, so I'll go ahead and hand it over to Matt, and he'll go over your Pacific One card.
All right, so I'm in the last thing standing between you and saying see you later to your families that were here earlier. So I will try and make this good. I am Matt Camino. I am in charge of the Pacific Card office. I saw a lot of you on Saturday who moved into residential facilities and picked up your cards. Happy to see our lanyards out there with everybody. Hopefully everyone has their card. If not, swing by our office. We're in Anderson Hall. Don't know where that is yet, that's fine. If you have Google Maps, you just type in Pacific Card office, it'll drop a dot right on our office. We are in office 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and we're happy to help whenever you need it. You can reach out to us by phone, or you can email us at the support email that's on the screen, and it'll open a ticket, and there's 4 of us total in the office. One of us will get back to you and let you know what's going on. If you want to reach out to us on Instagram, we are Pacific Card on Instagram. Feel free to follow us there. We'll give away a few things this year, and we can communicate on there as well, just in case that's a preferred method of communication. So we're going to cover using your card. We're going to cover discounts that come along with having your card. We're going to go over how to access your account and check your balances and make sure that you have accounts like bookstore charge. We're going to talk about uploading money to your account, and we had a good talk with the families that were here about how to do that so that you can have some money. And we're going to talk about your connection between Pacific Card and Grubhub. So this is your card. Yours may look different. It'll have your photo on it. It does 5 big things here at the university. One is its base usage of security and identification. It has a picture of you on it and your ID number. So when you go to financial aid, when you go to student accounts, you're going to go in there, you're going to show them your card so that they can look up your ID number and they can see you are who you say you are on that card. Security functions, most of you have already seen that you're going into residence halls, you swipe into there, you're going to swipe into the library after hours, you're going to swipe into classrooms, into labs as they give you access to things. So over the years that you're here, you'll probably gain more and more access to buildings. I know for those who are engineering majors out there, they're very strictly controlled with their access to building spaces, and so you'll get certain access depending on what kind of engineering that you're a part of. I'm going to go straight across for our residential folks. Those of you who are living in on-campus housing, you have a meal plan. That meal plan should already be on your card. You may have used it already down at the Grove. It's good for any on-campus food service location. And that's going to include our food truck that'll be on South Campus at the end of the month. It's going to be the DeRosa University Center places, the Lair, which is upstairs in the same building, the Grove Grocery Store, Cafe 1851 that is in Calaveras Hall, Pharmacy Health Sciences Cafe, and yes, even Starbucks, which is probably where most of you want to use it, but do not use it for every meal, I beg of you. And we have history with that. We had a student who had to learn about budgeting. They used their meal plan up too fast. So watch your meal plan balances, make Starbucks a treat, but yes, you can use your meal plan there. Tiger Wash, those of you living in residential housing, you don't need to pay anything extra for laundry. You have an account called Tiger Wash. When you log in and check your balances, it's going to start at $0 and go negative. That's the big thing that catches everybody. It's a fake quarter every single time you swipe for a wash or swipe for a dry, and it's a credit limit. So it goes from 0 to negative $25. If for some reason you have a problem with Tiger Wash, you run out of funds, you hit that $25 limit before the end of the semester, you're going to want to reach out to the housing office at their email address, which is IamHome, pretty easy email address, @pacific.edu, and ask for more Tiger Wash. Bookstore charge. Karina just talked about bookstore charge. When you log into your account, if you do not see that you have bookstore charge, you're going to want to contact student accounts. And they may have already reached out to you, so make sure to be checking your Pacific email account. We want to make sure that you are financially cleared and in good standing so that you can access that bookstore charge privilege. When you go to the bookstore and you want to use your student account to pay for books so that you can defer those payments over, maybe scholarships or loans or covering those payments, and you want to use bookstore charge with your card, you got to make sure you have the account first. So make sure you're in good standing with Karina's team. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Pacific Cash, which is a tender that starts at $0, and then you, your families, anyone you want can add to that money. And Pacific Cash comes in handy if you don't live in on-campus housing, but you want to eat on campus at a discount. There's a 3% discount for using it. So an advantage if you're eating multiple times a week on campus, you get a small discount associated with it over using a credit card. Pacific Cash is also accepted at the mailroom, at the duplicating office. You can buy bus passes with it at the DeRosa University Center. You can use it at the bookstore. You can use it at Bond Fitness Center. And I think the biggest thing all of you will use it for is for copying and printing in the library. It is the only way to pay for copying and printing in the library. So I'm not saying throw $100 on there. It's 6 cents per sheet for black and white copy printing, 12 cents per sheet for color copy and printing. And you add by cash online or by credit card online, cash in my office, or at a kiosk that's on the second floor of the DeRosa Center. This is our website. It's on the back of your card. You don't have to remember a whole lot, just remember it's on the back of your card. And so it'll bring you here. It's got all the information that I'm talking about and more on there. It's the place that you're going to go and you're going to be able to do everything with your card, including mark it lost if you lose it, and it'll freeze the card. So nobody else uses your balance, nobody else uses your access, and then if 5 minutes later you find your card, which happens a lot, you can mark it as found, activate it, and it'll come back into use again. So our site is important for all sorts of things, but also local discounts. So Miracle Mile down the road here, most of the merchants on the mile, and you'll find this out on Friday evening, they offer 10% off. to everybody who's a Pacific card holder. We have a H2O excursions that does kayak and jet ski rentals. They offer 15% off. And the place you want your families to take you when they come into town, it's called the Kitchen at Stonebriar. Nice upscale meal. They're offering 20% off when you show your Pacific card. So make sure to go to our site, check out the locations used place. So it's not just for places where Pacific Cash is accepted off campus, but it's also for places that offer you discounts for showing your card. It's the most comprehensive list I can put together, but I always suggest to every student, ask for a discount wherever you go, because there's a chance they have a button that we don't know about yet, and just ask for the student discount. So they don't always tell us, and there might be more value out there for being a Pacific student in the community. This is how you access your account. When you go to mypacificcard.com, you simply click on the student login. It'll bring you up to that two-factor authentication thing that you go through for everything else you do here at Pacific, and then it will log you into our site. And that's when you'll see your balances for Pacific Cash, for meal plan, for Tiger Wash if you have those, if you're living on campus, and bookstore charge if you've been cleared by student accounts. If you have a family member that you would like to give access to be able to check your balances for you and deposit Pacific Cash to your account, there's a link right in there that says add a guest. So add a guest account. You simply put in their email address. They will receive an email from us with a password, and they'll use that email address you put in and that password so they can monitor your balances and they can deposit Pacific Cash. If you don't want to give them that much access so they can see all your balances, there's another button that says Add Cash Now on the site, and all they need is your Pacific ID number, and they can type in that ID number and use a credit card and give you some Pacific Cash so that you can use it for all those things we mentioned earlier. This is how you upload money, and from both perspectives. So one, make a deposit on the left. You click make a deposit. You're already connected to an account. Enter a credit card. You can do it for payments that when you fall under $10, it adds money automatically. And your guest users, your family members who want to do this, they can set it up that way as well so that you never run out of Pacific Cash completely. On the right-hand side or in the middle there, that is how you do it with Add Cash Now. And the only difference is that they have to enter your Pacific ID number because they're not pre-linked to your account because you gave them access for it. So Pacific Card and Grubhub, this is kind of the big deal we have here. If you have a residential meal plan or you're using Pacific Cash, you can link under the My Account section of Grubhub, a section called Campus Dining, and you can affiliate with University of the Pacific. And you'll sign in again using the two-factor authentication piece. And once you're in there, you'll, one, be able to have your meal plan and your Pacific Cash balances pulled into Grubhub and use Grubhub to order from the food truck, from the Lair, from the Taqueria, and coming soon the Pharmacy Health Sciences Cafe, all with no pickup fees. That was our big negotiation with them, is that there's no pickup fees for on campus. So you're gonna pay the same price you would pay by walking up to the food truck, and you're gonna use the same meal plan you would use walking up to the food truck, but you can order ahead of time on Grubhub. Same thing with the Lair. Those are the two busiest locations just because of their proximity to South Campus for the food truck, and the Lair is the most popular place to eat in the evening. With Grubhub, you can also use Pacific Cash, not your meal plan. Meal plan is only for on-campus dining, but you can use Pacific Cash on Grubhub for delivery. So if you've got family members giving you money in Pacific Cash, maybe they want to treat you to a meal off campus, you can use that Pacific Cash with Grubhub. And on top of that, because you're a student at University of the Pacific, you get the Grubhub Plus program for free. So the $10 a month premium, no delivery fees, extra discounts program is free to you as long as you're a student at the university. That is all I have. Caitlin, how are we on time? We're on time. I'm going to ask our orientation leaders to come in. Thank you so much and welcome to Pacific.